At Ventum Financial, we believe that sharing another person's story is a privilege. The people inspiring and activating others, role modeling what's possible, solving problems today, and building for a better tomorrow. Who is relevant is subjective, but what if we turn the dial? Leaning into the courageous leaders who quietly drive positive change. This is Relevant, where leaders, creators, and change makers share the ideas shaping business, culture, and the world, one conversation at a time. Debbie McGrath here with Ventum Financial's Relevant. Today, I am meeting with Liz Crawford, founder and owner of the Rosé Beach Hotel in Winnipeg Beach. Liz, thanks so much for having us here today. It's such a delight to see this area. I haven't actually been here before.
Oh, well, thank you for coming. And yeah, we're very proud to be here in Winnipeg Beach, seeing the beach come alive again. And I'm so thrilled that you were able to join us.
So you were telling me that there's quite a history to Winnipeg Beach.
Yes. Well, back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I'm talking about the 30s and the 40s, the train used to leave Winnipeg and come up every weekend, and there was a big dance hall here. And so this place was wall-to-wall people coming up for the dance. There was a big roller coaster on the beach. Like, it was Manitoba's hot spot 100 years ago, and I feel like it might be coming back.
I like that. I see how you're contributing to it. So you are a multi-hyphenate. You've had lots of titles in your career, having done marketing, modeling. Well, branding would be with marketing. What else am I missing? Now you're a hotel owner.
Yes, yeah. And of course, we have our spa. I've worked in media and television. So I've had a career that's been really diverse, for sure.
So tell me how the Rosé Beach Hotel came to be. 2021.
Yep. Yes. Well, first of all, I think we might share this in common. I'm a huge California lover.
Yeah.
Huge Cali girl. My favorite hotel in the world is the Beverly Hills Hotel.
It's a great hotel.
Yes. And I've spent lots of winters down there with my kids. And so it was the beginning of COVID. Nobody's doing anything. So much uncertainty in the world.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who's now 25, 21 at the time, phones me and says, Mom, you should buy a motel on the beach and convert it. And I was like, okay, why? And she said, well, I just think this would be so amazing. And you and your team, you'd kill it. And you love hospitality. You should do it. So I Googled hotels for sale, motels for sale by the beach in Manitoba. And this came up on Kijiji.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Like it was meant to be.
And how bizarre on Kijiji.
So how long between finding the hotel on Kijiji before you decided that this was a business venture you wanted to embark on?
Well, probably not long enough in hindsight, but we basically jumped in the car. I picked up my staff and we drove down here, brought some donuts, knocked on the door, and we owned it about 4 weeks later.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. And who were the previous owners? That have been in a family for a while?
It had been, well, actually, yes, for a long time it belonged to the original owners, and then they sold it to an older couple who used it as a fishing motel, mostly catering to winter clientele. Yeah.
And so the hotel now does both summer, and do you entertain in the winter?
We do, actually. And this winter we're really excited because we're going to be turning in November from the Rosé Beach House into the Rosé Chalet with saunas, hot tubs, our spa openings. So lots of exciting things.
Great idea. Well, I also love how you're evolving it as you live in it, stay in it, play in it, that there's more to it than what you originally planned in 2021.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. And then the expansion, of course, we just opened 2 months ago. So it's been evolving since we purchased it in 2021. And I think it will just continue to. And we've seen the shifts in the entire town. Lots of interest now.
So tell me, who are the clientele?
Well, in the summer, it's probably 85%. It's a girls' getaway. Okay. That kind of happened when we painted the doors pink. But of course, we get families and we get couples. But for by and large, it's a real girls' getaway in the summer. And in the winter, we see couples, and then we see a lot of ice fishermen. So a completely different clientele that rolls in February, March, and April.
So you were telling me there's a little bit of a difference in the gender roles. Why don't you tell us about the two different occupants?
Well, the girls are a blast. And, it's just quite funny because I always joke, I'm like, you wouldn't think it, but the only insurance claims we've ever had are those bachelorette parties. So fun, though.
Yeah.
And when the ice fishermen come up, conversely, they are, coming up with all their stuff, and they really respect and realize that it's female owned, and almost they feel somewhat responsible. So we've had on a few occasions, some of our ice fishermen that come annually, they'll say, oh, this was loose. So we grabbed our tool bucket and we fixed it for you,
It's the perfect gasp. I can only imagine.
Fabulous. Yeah.
So let's go to the hotel, and I'd love you to tell me about building it.
Sure. Love to. Thank you.
Liz, you and I were speaking about the reconstruction or the refab of the structure. So
Yes.
tell me, you get it, you buy it in a month,
Yes.
super excited,
Mhm.
2021. I'm sure your brain is just racing at how you can convert it.
Yes.
Take me from there.
Well, I feel like both the original side and the new side have funny stories. So the original side, we bought it in 2021, and we bought it 3 months from opening. And so we wanted to be open for June, capture the season. So then we thought, in our naivety, how hard can it be to find trades? Like, we're just doing a full gut remodel. It can't be that hard. Well, it's the pandemic. Everybody is redoing their homes and redoing their buildings.
Skilled labor was very hard to find at the time, and lumber.
And yes, all the materials. So anyways, thankfully, I own a modeling agency where a lot of the models, we were all kind of going through a quiet phase because nobody was really doing shows. There wasn't a lot happening. So a bunch of them volunteered. And we hired.
You also got really good looking people to redo the building.
It was a reality TV show. One of my staff was Canada's Next Top Model, the former one. Yes, Megan Waller. So she comes rolling out of a truck with a sledgehammer. We have all these girls.
That's unbelievable. That's a story in itself.
and my daughters and my niece and some family, and we just we hired one guy. His name was Guy, and he was kind of a handy guy. And between Guy and us, we redid the whole thing. And there the girls were YouTubing how to pull up flooring. And
how hard can it be, Liz?
How hard can it be? I'm telling you something, models are industrious. And
That's good to know.
So then within 3 months, we got it done. And in fact, we were still working, hanging out TVs. We had a crew of us at about 5 a.m. before opening day.
Wow.
And we sold out in the first 22 hours for the whole season.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's unbelievable. So what were the surprises as you pulled things back?
Oh, boy. I think the original side wasn't as much of a surprise because the building was built in the 60s. So we anticipated there's going to be certain things that come up, maintenance
needs to be done.
We were going to learn things. That wasn't the big hurdle. I think is when we went to expand. And so we bought the property next door and the one behind. And we, of course, as you know, expanded last year. Building something from the ground up is very different from remodeling something, and a lot of things we didn't know. A lot of things that had to be lined up in certain ways that, we were unaware of. It was the first time building something.
Or order of getting it done?
Just order of getting things done, permits, financing. Yeah. Financing was a huge challenge for us. So we ended up getting a interest-free loan.
I saw that from the government.
From the government. Actually, it was the feds.
Oh, it was the feds.
It's Tourist Growth Program. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
and the Women's Enterprise Center.
So 1.8 million was awarded to Manitoba to invest in tourism. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how did you know of it, and how does one apply for it? And does it, for our audience, even still exist?
No, it doesn't actually.
Okay.
They stopped the program this year.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, because for us, so my partner, Melanie, came in as a partner on the new edition. And she actually did a lot of the digging and the homework on that. She could speak to that more than I could. I was just really surprised at how unwilling the banks were to work with us because we were, we both stayed home with our kids for a period of time. So that really worked against us. There were a lot of things that I realized, there really is a hurdle. Being
hard
women.
to access capital. You think particularly as women?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, because it's mostly women who stay home.
Of course.
So we both had a chunk of time that was absent from being in the workforce. So that really was a big factor for the bank. It's what did you do for those 10 years? Where were you? And even though I've always had businesses, some, I sort of did them part-time for quite a bit of time, right? Or I didn't take a salary because I didn't need it. And I kept a lot of money in the company or moved it into other investments, but I didn't withdraw a salary. So I wasn't employed technically. And with Melanie, she stayed home with her kids for a long time. So these are things that did not make the bank very comfortable. And so it was in spite of whatever equity we had, it didn't matter. And so it was really an interesting experience to go through that and realize that it is really harder for women to access money. And statistically, then I did my deep dive, and statistically it is.
Yes.
And so we were really grateful for the Tourist Growth Program, really grateful for Women's Enterprise Center. I don't love the 7% interest. So to me, I'm like, can we get something for women that maybe the interest is a little more comparable
to what actually the national rate is?
But I understand. And so you have to give back to help other women that come behind you. So I get it. But that was a challenge, dealing with trades, being women, dealing with trades, and it's a very male-dominated world, the construction world.
So having had this experience, I certainly can tell you, Liz, you're not alone in that. It's consistent of what I've heard from a number of female entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
If there was a way that you could change the evaluation really at the banks and the access to capital, where do you think there needs to be leverage or flexibility, or maybe it's acknowledgement that could change that narrative?
Well, I don't know exactly. I mean, I think that the feds are starting to put together programs, and I think there are programs now that really sort of highlight the hurdles that women have to go through. I think that right now, if we had maybe tried this 5 years ago, 7 years ago, we may have had more luck. I think right now in this current economy, it's very difficult for anybody, but then add those factors. So I'm hopeful. I'm always optimistic. I'm hopeful that the banks will evolve with the rest of the world and realize that women are a great investment. And I think that's going to take time, because I also know it's mindset, right? So
it is mindset. And actually, if we're going to get into the data, female-owned businesses tend to have, do have a higher success rate because it's the inverse, unfortunately, of how it is that one is evaluated by risk, such as allocating capital. Although women are perceived to be higher risk on return, women are more committed to returning the capital and go into less risky ventures.
Right.
We're going to work on that together.
Okay.
How it is we can change that narrative. Because it is unfortunate, but it is also always so incredible to see those like yourself who have pushed through the barriers. I think you just have to, as you and Melanie have discovered, you've got to roll up your sleeves. You have to do more homework.
Yes.
And it's also more difficult because you likely have, when we think about access to capital, usually friends and family are at the top for men or for women when you're sourcing funds.
Right.
And women also have a smaller group likely who control the purse strings within a home in which to ask for support.
Yes, absolutely. There's barriers all over the place. So that's why I think it is so important that we really start to work on investing in women and seeing the value in that. And, this is a topic I could talk about all day, but one thing I also know is that when we invest in women, we invest in our more than just their business. We actually invest in the community because women are much more likely to give back. Gender-based violence takes a strong dip down. When women have money, good things happen.
Liz, we talked a lot about support that you've received from others and that you also have given back because you have been a huge female community supporter and entrepreneur supporter. Is there any piece of advice that would have been helpful to you in your journey along the way?
Yes. So I believe very strongly that women are groomed to self-doubt. So self-doubt is the biggest killer of dreams, in my opinion. And women, we're so good at it. We're so good at saying maybe tomorrow, maybe that's not for me, and not fully committing the way we do to our families or our relationships or our volunteer work or our employers. When it comes to ourselves, what I have noted is that women really struggle with the unapologetic self-commitment to their own business. And so I wish that somebody had said to me that it is not only okay to do that, it's brave to do that, and don't apologize for it. And so that's my advice to other women. I see so many women that get to the cliff and they're like, I don't know if I want to jump in or, and I often like to come up and just go, because you're going to swim. You're going to swim,
I'm going to give you a white paper I wrote a number of years ago named Why Not Now?
Okay.
And it is exactly about how women are, we are generally more fear-based, but we also carry biologically a bigger load, of which we are more protective, as we've talked about. Our behavior tends to be more risk-averse anyhow.
Sure.
But it was exactly that. There is always, but this is why I can't do it.
Right.
And what happens to right now?
Right.
If you've got the idea, pursue it. You just never know.
Right. And I don't know. And so feel free to edit anything I'm about to say because it may be on topic or off topic. But I always say to people when I'm speaking in groups, I have this unique situation that from 10 on, I was raised by my father and his partner. So gay dads. So what happens to a girl when she's raised in an LGBTQ household? Well, I can tell you is you were living in the absence of misogyny. You're living in the absence of harmless comedy and jokes about female drivers or blonde jokes or whatever. You are celebrated as a heroine. You honestly believe, I joke with my dad all the time and said, you created Barbie world for me because I thought I was a woman. I could do anything. And then I got in the world and I was like, it's not like this out here.
A lot of closed doors.
But that core confidence that was instilled in me in the absence of any sort of just societal misogyny and barriers, I have people say all the time, you got the confidence of a straight white man.
Oh my God, I love that phrase.
And I laugh because they're like, oh, well, okay, but I understand it. I understand it because I'm in a family full of male entrepreneurs who never question themselves, who I always say, yeah, go for it. And of course, they're like, I can do it. And it's so built in to all of us and how we think and perceive and move through society. The other day I was at a meeting and a woman said to me, and she's of a different generation, she said, oh, okay, but I know you're really busy with other things. Do you think you can handle this job? And I said to her respectfully, my brother owns 7 companies. No one ever asked him if he can handle taking on anything, And so it's the way we think, right? But I do feel like I had this really amazing, unique upbringing at a time when nobody else did, when that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, you were wired well.
I was wired well. Yeah.
Liz, one of the unique things about being in hospitality is the importance of client experience.
Yes.
So when you were building Rosé, and I want to talk to you about brand, but I thought at first we'll talk about our clientele. Mm-hmm. And what were you hoping would be the experience they had here? And how was that different than really the other areas that you've worked in your business background?
Right. Well, I think that there's a common thread in my history, and that is honestly and truly how people leave feeling. And so whether that's you're working in fashion as a model, it's the impression that you're giving the audience. Whether it's in marketing, how are people receiving what you're putting out in the world? So for me, the Rosé was to create a safe space for women in particular to come and play, families, to be able to provide something that was cute and chic and boutique, but also that had a personal touch. I wanted our guests to know they could reach out, they can get a hold of us. We're all just one big Rosé family, And so I think that they've all really appreciated that.
And when you were thinking about how you wanted people to have a memorable experience here, what was the sort of top 3 that you thought, this is a takeaway I want people to leave Rosé and think about?
I definitely wanted them to know that we thought of them. We've thought of all the details. And so when you go into our rooms, you know that everything matches, right down to the mugs match if it's a pink room, it's pink mugs, it's pink plates. We've thought of all the details because we wanted to curate a space that said we really care about how you feel when you're with us. We wanted people to have the ability to, the freedom to move and to have lots of friends, and no matter what they did, and we get the craziest messages sometimes. Yeah. And we know it's like, we're here for you. Go ahead, do it. You want to ride the bikes around at midnight, don't fall off, but have a good time, bring a flashlight. Like we just wanted people to know we're here and we're in this getaway with them, whatever they need. Yeah.
So as a hotelier now, and now that you've had the experience on the ownership side, what would be some of the I can't believe that happened story?
Well, there was one bachelorette where I guess they brought in a pole. And so
Dancing time.
And I didn't know this was a thing, that you could just rent these and they kind of stick to the ceiling in the floor. Well, I guess after a couple of glasses of wine, one girl, her leg went right through the walls. She was fine. No one was hurt.
She was hospital next.
No, but boy, the damage. And we were just cracking because there's no words. We came in the next day and there's confetti and a hole in the wall.
And so did they explain it, or did you get to piece that together?
Both, actually.
There was some ownership of it.
For sure. And it's kind of entertaining I don't want to have it happen all the time, but
of course
you can't make some stuff up.
And you must have a sense of pride too. I would think on social, you must see on the channels that people are sharing their experiences here, and that must make you feel incredible.
It feels so good when we get to see the weekends that people are having. Kids love it. 16-year-old birthdays. A 12-year-old girl had a birthday in the pink room. They did a Barbie theme. Like, it's the best.
You felt a special place for memorable.
It's happy.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you share a story about a client or clients that you've had that had a really memorable experience here and brought that back to share with you?
Well, two come to mind. Our very first guest ever was actually a night before we even opened. And a gentleman pulls up in the back lane and he says, "Oh, do you have a room for rent?" Like, he started dating this woman. She lives in Winnipeg, but she has kids, so she's coming out to visit, and I want to surprise her with something special. So of course we say yes. And his name is Matt. Turns out Matt works down the street at Eddie's, which is who did our gravel and our parking lot.
Oh, no kidding.
So we quickly got to know Matt and Lori, or Corey. Matt and Corey would come every month for their date night. And about 2 years into owning it, they came one weekend and we saw on social media that they got engaged here.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so when we had our opening of the expansion, our big party, they were guests. Like, they're just a part of the family.
Part of the legacy.
Exactly. So that's one. Then we have another gentleman. This is a bit of a sadder story, but we're so grateful to still be a part of his journey. He was engaged, and him and his fiance came the first couple of years we were open. She passed tragically, and he has continued to come on that weekend. And so we know when he's coming, and we host him in the summer every year since then. So we have deep relationships with some of our clients, and they come every year. Yeah, we get to know them.
They're part of the Rosé family.
Exactly.
Liz, you are truly a branding guru. So I would love to know, with your experience, how the name Rosé Beach Hotel came to be.
Well, like most good ideas, in the car. So again, after we bought the motel, we were driving up here, my staff and I, and just throwing names around. And we wanted it to reflect something girly, something that represents something fun. We knew that we were going to be doing a lot of pink and pink doors and really embracing that sort of culture of California and, girl time. And so I don't remember exactly who came up with it. We were throwing that and we just all landed on the Rosé Beach House. Yes. And then further to that, the rooms, of course, are individually named after people we love.
Great. And when did you come up with that idea?
Well, I kind of, as we're going into it, because again, it was so deeply personal to me that we were doing this space and and I'm watching all of these women pour out of cars and with sledgehammers, and we're doing this. We're just hands-on in this. And I thought, men name boats. Mm-hmm. We should name these hotel rooms. So,
that's a great idea.
Yeah. So the original side is my sisters and my niece, my daughter, and the Ashley in the center. Ashley was part of my team. And the year prior to that, she passed suddenly and at 26. Oh. And so we wanted to have one in her memory. And so when I talk about the details in the rooms, one of the pictures is a lot of art that we created ourselves. In the background, nobody would notice it, but her face is in it. And there's just a lot of really, really personal touches throughout the motel.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And you came up with the rooms with a special idea about making them unique in their color.
Yeah.
And then you have all these fixtures. How did you get this all done? I mean, it's so incredible. There isn't a detail that's been missed.
Yes. Well, that's what we do, right? And we do that for other clients. So in my other business, we do that for other hotels and luxury brands. And so we knew, like, you know, it's all in the details. And people really take note and they really feel thought of when things are really well curated. So, and that's where all the fun is. And that's where everything personal is. So like I said, the quotes in every room reflect the person that the room is named after. So the Julianne is my older sister. She's very fiery. So it talks about her lighting fires and dancing in the streets, right? And Ashley was very soft and loved to dance. So her quote's very different. So other people may not know it, but they kind of do. They've heard enough of the stories. And so they feel somewhat attached. And that's the personal connection.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Yes Way Rosé. You had the rosé here. I saw it also on the bags. I don't know the story. Will you tell me?
Yes. So when we opened, we reached out to Yes Way Rosé, which is a very popular rosé wine brand. And we said, hey, do you want to do some collaborations? Let's do some events. Let's, you know, see what we can do together. And they've been phenomenal. And they have such a their brand is so hot and so gorgeous. And they're out of New York and they just were such a great fit. So as we were making content, they were reposting. And when girls come here, quite often we notice they bring Yes Way Rosé wine. So we thought, well, this is just too good. So for our launch party of our new side a month ago, they were a big sponsor of ours. So they came and brought like all of their like cabanas and pink Polaroids and all their wine. And it was really fun.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. And the pink is the aesthetic that you carry through. So even down, obviously your website has got that feel, the California vibe. And I guess the sense about the Winnipeg Beach is that you brought California here.
Which is the funny part, because as you see, there's palm trees on the property. So
I love the palm trees on the property.
Is Manitoba not the coldest, most closest to the Arctic?
Well, it doesn't feel it today, that's for sure.
Doesn't feel it today, but it is just so funny to have palm trees in this pink California, you know. We'll have to send you pictures of what we're going to do for winter because we're still curating that. And yeah, that's the fun part, right? And I think strong brands have authenticity, and the authenticity lies in your dreams. And so for me, I love the Beverly Hills Hotel. I love California. I love palm trees and pink. And so I didn't want to do it 50% or 70%. It was like, well, we're in it now. Let's just order the palm trees and let's just put the sand down and see what happens.
The direction we're going.
Right. So why not do it all the way?
Well, Liz, I love the story about the history of Winnipeg Beach and how it came to be. I love how you've brought that energy back here, and I can't wait to hear in another 20 years that people reminisce about the group that you brought here because of it.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful that you were able to come and join us.
Oh, couldn't be more thrilled. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.